In the unforgiving grip of poverty, choices are stark. For families in many developing countries, child labor isn't a moral failing, it's a survival strategy. Children as young as 8 or 9 become economic contributors, their small hands stitching garments, scavenging landfills, or toiling in hazardous mines. The income they generate, however meager, can mean the difference between a family eating or going hungry. The West often views this through a lens of outrage, but the reality on the ground is far more complex. The complexity of child labor in developing countries is often misunderstood. Please watch to the end, comment, like, and share this video to help spread the word. Follow the link in bio for some awesome merch. Help support the cause. Bangladesh, a nation built on the garment industry, exemplifies this dilemma. Millions of workers, many of them young girls, toil long hours in often grueling conditions. The garment sector, while rife with problems, is the lifeblood of the Bangladeshi economy, providing much-needed jobs and lifting millions out of abject poverty.
The wages earned by these children, though paltry by Western standards, often support entire families, putting food on the table and enabling siblings to attend school.
The work is demanding, often dangerous, and the conditions are far from ideal. Children as young as 12 work alongside adults, operating heavy machinery, handling chemicals, and breathing in dust-filled air. Safety regulations are often lax or unenforced, and accidents, sometimes fatal, are not uncommon.
Yet for many families, the risks associated with factory work are outweighed by the stark alternative: starvation.
Companies like Nike and H&M have faced criticism for their involvement in child labor practices. Activists like Kailash Satyarthi have been at the forefront, advocating for the rights and safety of these young workers. In stark contrast, children in privileged countries like the United States enjoy a life of comfort, often indulging in fast food and video games, oblivious to the struggles faced by their counterparts in labor camps. While American children worry about their next toy or game, children in Bangladesh worry about their next meal, working tirelessly to support their families. Western consumers, accustomed to cheap clothing and a sense of moral righteousness, often demand an end to child labor. Boycotts are organized, pressure is applied to multinational corporations, and factories are shuttered.
While these actions are driven by noble intentions, they often fail to consider the complex realities on the ground. The sudden loss of income from factory closures can be catastrophic for families who depend on it.
Moreover, simply shutting down factories doesn't address the root causes of child labor: poverty and lack of opportunity. Children forced out of factories often end up in even more dangerous and exploitative situations. They may be trafficked to other countries, forced into prostitution, or end up working in hazardous informal sectors, such as scavenging or begging. The well-intentioned but often misguided actions of Western consumers can have devastating, unintended consequences. The 2013 Rana Plaza collapse in Bangladesh, which killed over 1,100 garment workers and injured thousands more, tragically illustrates the complexities of this issue. The disaster, one of the deadliest industrial accidents in modern history, exposed the unsafe working conditions and lax safety regulations prevalent in the Bangladeshi garment industry. In the aftermath of the tragedy, many Western brands faced intense scrutiny and pressure to improve working conditions in their supply chains. While some positive changes were implemented, the tragedy also had unintended negative consequences. The closure of some factories, coupled with increased scrutiny and safety regulations, led to job losses and reduced income for many workers. In some cases, workers were pushed into more informal and unregulated workplaces, where conditions were often even more dangerous. The Rana Plaza disaster, while highlighting the need for improved worker safety, also underscored the complex interplay of factors driving child labor and the unintended consequences of simplistic solutions. Section 5. The double-edged sword of boycotts and factory closures. Boycotts, while seemingly a powerful tool for change, can have unintended negative consequences, particularly in the context of child labor.
While they can pressure companies to improve working conditions, they can also lead to factory closures and job losses, exacerbating the very poverty that drives child labor.
In Bangladesh, for example, Boycotts of garment factories have led to decreased orders, factory closures, and ultimately, job losses for thousands of workers, many of them women and young girls. These job losses can have devastating impacts on families who rely on these incomes for survival. Children deprived of their meager wages may be forced into more dangerous forms of labor, such as street vending, scavenging, or even prostitution. Moreover, boycotts often fail to address the root causes of child labor, such as poverty, lack of educational opportunities, and social inequality. Section 6. Beyond shutdowns, a nuanced understanding of poverty. The simplistic narrative of child labor bad, education good, often fails to capture the complex realities of poverty.
For many impoverished families, education is a luxury they simply cannot afford. Children's work is essential for family survival, and sending them to school means losing a crucial source of income. The decision to send a child to work is rarely made lightly. It's a heartbreaking choice driven by desperation and a lack of viable alternatives.
Instead of simply shutting down factories and depriving families of their livelihoods, a more nuanced approach is needed. Efforts should focus on addressing the root causes of poverty, such as lack of access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. Investing in quality education, providing vocational training, and creating sustainable employment opportunities for adults can help break the cycle of poverty and reduce the need for child labor. Section 7. Education versus labor, a false dichotomy in impoverished settings. The notion that education is the silver bullet solution to child labor, while well-intentioned, often ignores the realities of impoverished families. Education is undoubtedly crucial for long-term development and empowerment, but in the short term, it can be a luxury that families struggling for survival simply cannot afford. Children's contributions to family income are often essential, and pulling them out of work to attend school can have dire consequences. Moreover, the quality of education available in many developing countries is often poor, particularly in rural areas. Schools may be overcrowded, understaffed, and lacking basic resources. The curriculum may be irrelevant to the needs of the local community, and the skills acquired may not translate into viable employment opportunities. Section 8. Empowering families, sustainable solutions for a complex issue. Addressing child labor requires a multifaceted approach that goes beyond simply shutting down factories. Efforts should focus on empowering families and providing them with viable alternatives to child labor. This includes investing in quality education, providing vocational training, and creating sustainable employment opportunities for adults. Microfinance programs, which provide small loans and financial services to low-income individuals, can also help families escape the cycle of poverty. Conditional cash transfer programs, which provide financial assistance to families on the condition that their children attend school and receive regular health care, have also shown promise in reducing child labor. These programs not only provide immediate financial relief, but also incentivize families to invest in their children's education and health, breaking the intergenerational cycle of poverty. Section 9. The role of consumers, ethical consumption, and fair trade practices. Consumers in developed countries have a crucial role to play in addressing child labor. By making informed choices and supporting ethical brands, consumers can exert pressure on companies to improve working conditions and eliminate child labor from their supply chains. Fair trade practices, which ensure that producers receive fair prices for their goods and that workers are treated ethically, are gaining increasing traction. By choosing fair trade products, consumers can support businesses that prioritize worker welfare and environmental sustainability. Additionally, supporting organizations working to combat child labor through education, advocacy, and economic empowerment initiatives can make a tangible difference. Section 10. A collaborative approach governments, NGOs, and international organizations. Addressing child labor requires a collaborative approach involving governments, non-governmental organizations, international organizations, and the private sector. Governments have a crucial role to play in enacting and enforcing laws that protect children from exploitation, ensuring access to education, and creating an enabling environment for economic growth and job creation. NGOs play a vital role in providing education, healthcare, and social protection services to vulnerable children and families. They also play a crucial role in advocacy, raising awareness about child labor, and holding governments and businesses accountable. International organizations, such as the International Labor Organization, provide technical assistance, research, and policy guidance to governments and other stakeholders. Section 11. Conclusion: a call for compassion and sustainable change. Child labor is a complex issue with no easy solutions. While shutting down factories may seem like a quick fix, it often backfires, pushing children into more dangerous and exploitative situations. Addressing this problem requires a nuanced understanding of the root causes of poverty and a commitment to sustainable solutions. By investing in education, empowering families, and promoting fair trade practices, we can create a world where children are no longer forced to sacrifice their childhoods to survive. This is not just a matter of economics, it's a matter of human dignity. Every child deserves a childhood, a chance to learn and grow, and the opportunity to reach their full potential. By working together, we can create a world where child labor is relegated to the history books and all children have the chance to thrive.